Right. Welcome in. We have an arrest. Check out what this is about. Gonna get a press conference. That's what we're gonna be waiting for. So stay put, folks. How's everyone doing? Hopefully people get notified.
That this was.
What's up? What's up? We're waiting for a press conference, everyone. Good morning. Pipe bomber. J6 pipe bomber. What's up? Welcome in. Hopefully the audio is good. What's up? What's up? Welcome in, everyone.
It hasn't started yet.
Press conference hasn't started yet. Looking for the press conference feed. Welcome in, everyone. Did everyone get notified? Let me know in the comments. All right, so we should be getting the. Yeah, okay. So I found the feed. Let's see what's going on. What's up, everyone? Welcome in. Welcome in. Now, as you guys got notified, what's up? We got all the regulars in the house. Jalissa, Lisa Boo, welcome in. Welcome in. Anne, welcome in. Angel. Who else did I miss? Lori. Hey, a quick question. Are you guys on vertical or horizontal feed? Which one did you guys end up being on? Vertical? So horizontal feed's going on right now. It's up to you. What do you guys like more, horizontal or vertical? Wow. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Pup groomer. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Pup groomer. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships right off the bat. Make it, hey, starting off the morning. Thank you so much. Let's get some hearts in there. Pup groomer 20. Thank you. Let's get some hearts in here for you. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Pup Gruber says, I don't chat much, but when watching for a while. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's I was gonna say I'm not familiar with your name that much, so I gotta remember a lot of names. So I really appreciate you a lot. I know it's tough times, but yeah, if you guys could help out, keep the lights on here. Thank you. This platform doesn't like little channels, man. It's been very hard. But yeah, let's fill the chat up with hearts for Pup Groomer. All right, so we're waiting for this press conference. Should start. I heard there's 2 press conferences going on at the same time. So I don't know. I don't know which one, if they're going to delay this one or what. We'll find out in a bit. We'll be finding out. Yeah, man, it's difficult to get organized here because I'm a 1-person team, but it's supposed to be a White House press conference, and then this one as well. I don't know how they're going to go on at the same time. If they do, we're going to be waiting. Is anyone on vacation mode yet? Who's off for the holidays? Things are weird, man. Things are weird right now. Like, people are weird because some people are off, schedules are off. What's up? Welcome in. You're sick mode. All right. What happened with you? People are getting sick? I'm retired mode. You're too young to be retired. If that's your picture, you look very young. Unless you had to retire, that's all right. I'm just saying. You're betting it's yeah, you mean she made a deal? Margie Taylor Greene? I don't know, man. I'm not, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not that fluent with this story. You know.
Amazon offers hourly.
Did you hear that? Were you guys able to hear that when it was on? Oh, you have to work for the holidays? You know what? And we'll keep you company here, man. I'll be going on. I work all the time. And I work all the time, so I'll be on. I work this holiday.
So back with the Fox News alert. Listen up. The FBI is
You guys can hear that, right?
arresting the person suspected of planting pipe bombs outside the RNC and DNC's headquarters in Washington back in 2021. That the night before the Capitol riots, January 6. David Spunt joins us live from D.C. with the latest. David.
5 years to get this person.
Well, Brian, this is a big one. This is almost 5 years in the making. You remember this happened on January 5th, 2021, the night before the Capitol was under attack on January 6th, 2021. A person who was completely covered in clothes, in a sweatshirt, a hoodie, mask, gloves, you name it, placed pipe bombs outside both the DNC, Democratic National Committee headquarters, and the RNC.
Okay, what kind of an idiot does it? There's no, everything's filmed, man.
Republican National Committee headquarters. We don't know the suspect's name or anything else.
So they planted these in both parties' headquarters.
Else about the person at this time. We're told that will likely change as the day moves on, but we can say this was a male that
There is a name out there.
was living in the Northern Virginia area
Idiot.
outside of Washington, D.C., and this arrest was made by the FBI and other federal authorities here within the last hour or 90 minutes or so. Just this past October, the FBI put out enhanced video of this masked suspect planting these pipe bombs on this bench outside the RNC and then the DNC. Now, this was, again, the night before the Capitol attack. Now, according to authorities, the suspect, they believe, was 5'7", using
It's kind of short.
some technology where they could measure based on the video. The person wore a hooded sweatshirt, glasses, and gloves. We'll see if that rings true once we get an identity. Agents say that these bombs, Brian, were placed between 7:30 and 8:30 at night. It's important to note the bombs did not detonate, but they were viable and discovered the next day over the
So they were these were actually they were workable, huh?
past almost 5 years. Agents visited 1,200 homes, businesses, conducted more than 1,000 interviews, reviewed approximately 39,000 video files, going through 600 tips or so. And there was a reward, everyone,
Idiot. And there'll be people saying this isn't him.
$500,000 leading to this arrest. Of course, that'll be a question we're expecting to hear from authorities later today involved in this investigation to see if someone did indeed tip off authorities and may be eligible for that $500,000 reward. So a lot of questions. We want to know the name. We want to know
money.
Much more about this. But this is something that's been plaguing Washington, D.C. and many across the country for almost 5 years now, guys.
Yeah, man. That's pretty crazy. They got a suspect. He's taller than you? How tall are you? By the way, folks, I'm curious to see what other social media do you all use outside of this one? Like, what are all the social medias you guys use? So we're waiting for a press conference, folks. Stay put.
I'm looking at FBI.gov, and just one other fact about this individual. He was wearing Nike Air Max Speed Turf shoes. They're black and gray with yellow Nike logos. There are fewer than 25,000 pairs of these.
Were the pipe bombs, did they ever go off? I think no, but they were loaded. I guess.
Over a 3-year period. So it's these little details that can make the breakthrough in a case. Unclear if that was the detail, but those are the kinds of things these investigators were looking at.
That's exactly right. And the FBI did put some video.
Yeah. And Rasmussen is 5'2", man. That's dynamite. It's dynamite. Dynamite comes in small packages, girl.
It was a computer image of a 360-degree view of those Nikes on their website.
5'1".
We've done countless stories over the last almost 5 years showing those. And that, yes, that was a rare shoe, but it was difficult for authorities. And we're obviously going to learn a lot more. And I think there was some frustration. This is something that spanned the FBI under Christopher Wray, now Kash Patel. When Director Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino came on board earlier this year, they talked about this case openly and said that they wanted to find out who this person was. Bongino, in fact, said when he was a private citizen on his podcast before he came into the FBI, he believed that it was an inside job. We want to see who this person is. We want to know what the connections are. We just know this was a male that was living in Northern Virginia, taken into custody in the last hour or so. And we're going to be getting some of those updates from authorities a little bit later today. And we suspect we'll hear from Attorney General Pam Bondi, FBI Director Kash.
That's
Patel,
what we're
maybe
waiting
the
for.
Deputy FBI Director Bongino and others, Kaylee.
So, David, Brian and I had a source a few months back
So we're getting ready for the press conference, folks.
that told us that they were close in this investigation. Shortly after that, they released the imaging. There's really not.
There is a name out there for the suspect, but I'm going to wait till the press conference because one thing we've been noticing is the age of social media. There's a lot of fake news out there. And I don't want to be, I don't want to be helping that false narrative, if it's false, be pushed out there.
Much in
To the best of my
imaging that they
ability.
released. Do you have any idea from your sources what turned this investigation to an arrest?
We want to know the answer to that. We don't know specifically, but you're right. We've heard the same thing with our sources, Lawrence, that they have been slowly closing in over time on somebody. The question is, could it have been the $500,000 reward money? We know that via sources that this person had been watched for several days, which is typical from the FBI or other agents, marshals, to watch someone before they go in and make an arrest. And they made their arrest. And it's so important that these members of law enforcement can do what they need to do, and these arrests don't get botched at all in any way. So this was very, very close hold, as we call it here in Washington, before this happened today. But now this person is in custody. But we'll find out more about the circumstances.
Do we know when the presser is?
We don't have an exact time yet.
They said the pressers should be now.
We're told we're likely going to hear this afternoon from these principals.
Wow.
Very big news.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, David,
Thanks,
for hopping
David.
on.
People have
Thank
been
you, guys.
asking questions about this for a long time, and
Right.
we're told they were close. The Trump administration comes in, it takes 10 months, and they find the guy.
Well, it was also rumored to be a conspiracy as well. There's been so much stuff online about Inside Job, who was a part of this. Hopefully, we're going to get some closure now that we got somebody in custody.
Yeah, and little by little, we talk about January 6th again. It always brings us back to that time. There's still some questions that have to be answered. So we'll continue to follow that breaking news story. But it is notable that this FBI solves a lot of cases.
right.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's see. We got a few minutes. I think the president's speaking right now. They're going to wait till he's done. And then they're going to go into the pipe bombing stuff. But who knows, man? What do I know? I'm just a simple man trying to make my way through the galaxy. Okay, so this is the home. This is the home
I want to bring in on the phone Paul Morrow
of the
former
suspect, I
NYPD
guess.
inspector arrested for suspected of planting pipe bombs outside of the RNC and DNC headquarters near the U.S. Capitol complex. It's been nearly 5 years ago that this happened. That's about 35 miles outside of D.C. where they are now. And I want to bring in on the phone Paul Morrow, former NYPD inspector arrested for planting.
All right. Well, that's outside. I don't know if someone could just use Barron Trump. I don't think that's him. Oh my God. Everyone always thinks everything's a conspiracy, man.
With the DC pipe bombs case has been.
All right. Well, they're identifying it as Brian Cole Jr. Brian Cole. I almost want to say Brian Kohlberger, right?
Identified as Brian Cole Jr. of Woodbridge, Virginia.
It's not Brian Kohlberger, obviously, but it sounds a lot like it.
Take a look at this. These are live pictures of law enforcement.
Everything's a conspiracy. By the way, we have less than 30 days for Project 2025 to happen. We have, and a lot of it like could have happened and they decided not to. I don't know. There's a lot.
Enforcement searching the suspect's home. The arrest follows an almost 5-year probe to identify the suspect, who has only been seen in grainy surveillance video, shrouded in a hoodie, gloves, and face mask. Joining us now, the former deputy FBI director and CNN senior law enforcement analyst, Andrew McCabe. Andrew, thanks so much for joining.
Is it going to be rebranded? Is Project 2025 going to be rebranded as Project 2026? Is it? No, really. Because they could have ended. Remember one of the goals was ending gay marriage, and the Republicans said no way. They were against it, big time. You know, it will be Project 2030. No, it'll be rebranded. It'll be rebranded. Yeah, it always does.
Yes. What do you think?
It's always, the government shut down. Okay, we reopened it. Oh, the Epstein list. Okay, we're going to put out the list. Oh, something else. They always like switch the outrage, and then forget about the last outrage. So, yeah, no, conspiracy theories, man. After a while, they get boring. So, yeah, no, I do think it's going to be Project 2026. I think you're right.
The significance of this is, and what could have led to the arrest?
Well, it's hugely significant.
Huge.
Wolf, it was a major attempted violent act on the nation's capital, and
True.
seemed to be at least circumstantially timed with an attack on the Capitol to stop the certification of the election. So when you put all these things together, this is a major crime that the FBI needed to solve.
Action with the D.C. pipe bombs case.
What has gotten mainstream? The conspiracy theories? Hey, Jennifer, you thought that Lena Lynn video was fake, though. So, the one from yesterday. Okay, this is outside. The suspect's house is massive, bro. I'm living in the wrong state. I'm living in the wrong state. This is the suspect's house. It's massive. Yeah, reports the guy got to set timers. Oh, okay. He set the timers. He set the timers for the boom booms, and they didn't go off. The one with the fake mad chick was for sure. It's not. The chick's a fucking bitch, dude. Trust me. I don't care using that word either. She is. She could call me a dick all the time. I don't give a fuck. I don't get offended by being called that. No, she has a history, that YouTuber. There's a lot of there's a lot of YouTubers and social media streamers that do outrageous shit for views. I don't know. I've been thinking of doing stuff like that, like some crazy shit, man. I don't know, man. I'm gonna lose you guys one day. You're gonna tune in, and I'm gonna be doing some crazy TikTok shit. By the way, does anyone use TikTok here? Please let me know. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, we've been living in a mansion. And I guess what? This state, women could, I'll bet you the state he's in, the suspect, women could actually walk down the street without getting their asses smacked like they do in in these big cities like New York, you know, where crime is so low, or assaulted, right? College girls going to school or trying to keep a, you know, a second job to pay for their homes, rent, you know, getting assaulted by 17-time criminals. All right, this house is ridiculous, man. This house is ridiculous. It's in Virginia. You know? No, no one in her team does that. She randomly does. Jennifer, I've been monitoring that person for a while. I've been, you know, we're talking about a streamer, a crazy streamer. You know, we've been monitoring her for a while. She does that. Believe it or not. To us, normal people, it looks scripted because it's so outrageous, but it's not. These people are entitled. She literally, on video, forced a guy to torque. They grabbed onto a guy and her friend torqued on the guy. As the guy said, "I do not consent." You guys saw that video, right? Crystal ball chick has been whacking. Which crystal ball? Crystal ball chicks. All right, let's check this out.
Right here. This is a very heavy police presence at the home of the suspect. They have
this, what they call a home of the suspect, I call a mansion. This is a mansion. What the fuck?
Identified in the DC pipe bomb probe. So this is a live look from the Fox 5 DC helicopter as you see in a cul-de-sac. The FBI now at the home of this suspect.
Don't ever, yeah, everybody, that Nina Lynn video is awful. And the reason everybody goes, oh, this only happens to women is because when it happens to dudes, no one gives a shit or no one reports on it. But you all watch that video. If there were two male streamers holding down a female streamer and doing that, they'd be in jail right now. You know what I mean? Tell me that's not true. I know people, if you have a son, I mean, it may be fun and dandy when you're in your 20s and seeing oh, man, you can hate on men all you want, but if you have a dad that you love or a brother that you love or a cousin or a friend, that could be them. You know? So I see a lot of people like hate on dudes, especially on TikTok. Oh, men, this and that. It's like, dude, I don't hate women. I don't hate men. You can't hate people. You can't have a blanket statement because you had bad experiences with people. If you get on the internet and you said, if you say I hate men, or if you say I hate women, or if you say I hate white men or whatever, I'm almost 100% sure. Just because you think that's okay to do now in society, to it's okay to hate on society. Lets it slide. Certain things you could be racist and bigoted about. If you say that, I'm sure those people use the N-word at home. And they hate people that are not like them. You know.
Helicopter right here. This is a very heavy police presence at the home of the suspect they have identified in the DC pipe bomb probe. So this is a live look from the Fox 5 DC helicopter.
Still waiting for the press conference, folks. Stay tuned.
As you see in a cul-de-sac, the FBI now at the home of this suspect. And we were learning more earlier.
100%, and 100% what Anne's saying right here.
As we were hearing from the FBI after they announced that they made an arrest in a nearly 5-year-old investigation into who placed pipe bombs in Washington, D.C. before the January 6, 2021 riot at the U.S. Capitol. This arrest marks the first time investigators have settled on a suspect.
What goes into your brain that you think you could pull off this stunt, man? Like, seriously. what goes in your brain? All right. By the way, Anne gave me that egg. What goes through these idiots' brains that think they could get away with this nonsense? Right? Grandiose. Yeah.
Did an act that has had a long investigation by law enforcement and also led to some conspiracy theories. Those pipe bombs were placed on January 5th, 2021, near the offices of the helicopter right here. This is very heavy police presence at the home of the suspect they have identified in the DC pipe bomb probe. So this is a live look from the Fox 5 DC helicopter as you see in a cul-de-sac. The FBI now at the.
I mean, they were saying it was a woman once. I don't know. I mean, now this is. I can only go with the information they give me officially, right? What's up, man? What's up?
Home of this suspect, and we were learning more earlier.
You know what? Anne made this egg with love. Okay, everybody. This egg, I am waiting for it to hatch. One day it's going to have a nice dino. Right there. They said Luigi was a woman. Well, here's the deal. Did you guys hear about that guy that went to the ICE facility and shot it up and then hit 2 illegal aliens? Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear about that? Yeah, it was trying to do that. It was trying to go up against an ICE facility and with a pew pew and ends up hitting two detained illegal aliens. So to all the people that love Luigi, who's looking very haggard, by the way, when he allegedly did that crime, there was a woman right next to the victim. What if that was your mom or sister or you and he missed? Is that the kind of president you want? But I guess if you're if you're really a fascist, the kind that blame other people for being fascist, yet you're a fascist, that's okay with you, All right.
As we were hearing from the FBI after they announced that they made an arrest in the nearly 5-year-old investigation into who placed pipe bombs in Washington, D.C. before the January 6, 2021 riot at the U.S. Capitol. This arrest marks the first time investigators have settled on a suspect in an act that has had a long investigation by law enforcement.
I don't know if anyone lives. Where's this? Virginia? You said? You guys said it's Virginia? All right. If anyone's in Virginia, do you know if this is considered a big home there? Would in Virginia, would this be a rich person's home?
And also led to some conspiracy theories. Those pipe bombs were placed on January 5th, 2021, near the offices of the helicopter right here. This is very heavy police presence at the home of the suspect they have identified.
Because I have a theory, man. A lot of these rich people, man, they're bored. They have this savior complex, It's a middle. More surveillance. Okay, still no press conference. We are waiting here patiently, folks. I don't know how much patience I'm going to have for this. How much patience could a man have? Well, listen, I'm going to be going live on TikTok because YouTube really...
The Young Turks, the so-called progressives, in case you couldn't tell by their name, right? They decided to make an entire segment.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me see right here. I'm going to start to go live on TikTok, and it's Nerd Report on TikTok. All right? And the reason being is because YouTube wants to be TikTok. They've been killing everyone's channel with the shorts. So I'm thinking, why would I come on YouTube to be TikTok? I want YouTube to be YouTube. That's why I like YouTube. But they want to be TikTok, so they must think TikTok's better than them. So I'm gonna go on TikTok. Why go to the second? Why go to the second? The imitation when I could go to the original. You know what? As a matter of fact, here's what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna go live on TikTok simultaneously. See how that works. Let me see. As we wait. As we wait for the press conference. By the way, that's the link for the TikTok right there in the comments. All right, I'm going to go on TikTok real quick. All right, it's going live. 3, 2, 1. There you go. I'm live on TikTok. How the hell does that work? Oh, look, I'm live on TikTok. Oh, look, I'm live on TikTok. Like the echo? Like the echo? Is there volume here? What's up? What's up? You know what? I'm going to share that. Everyone click on this link right here and share it. Right there. I just dropped the link. What's up, Angela? Ooh, I see you guys coming on in here. I see you, baby. All right. Let me go here. What's up, TikTokers? TikTok. Oh, let me close this door. TikTok, you don't stop. There we go. Yeah, what's up? Sorry for the TikTok. Sorry for the bad image. There you go. That's a TikTok link. Leave it on for a while. All right, we're still waiting for the live shenanigans here. Lisa Boo's in there too. Okay, we're still waiting for the press conference. Pipe boom boomer. What's up, Lori? Amore's in there. You guys are all coming into the TikTok. I'm looking at the TikTok monitor. Sorry for the bad image. Sorry for the bad quality. Wait, I could actually put you guys in here. What? Hold on. I sent invites to co-host. You guys. All right, I'm obsessed with TikTok now. That's the link, the TikTok link right there. You're right, YouTube. TikTok is good. No wonder you guys want to be them. What up, what up, what up, everyone that's joining on TikTok? Man, TikTok's blowing up. All right, let's see what's up. What else is going on here? Hit the like, folks, TikTokers.
There is a suspect that is in custody for the pipe bombs that were placed at the DNC and I think the RNC, both on January 6th, the night before January 6th. This is a photograph that they have here. Now, this is 5 years on.
Yeah.
So what do you think the break in the case might have been?
You know, it's really hard to say, but whatever it was, you're going to have these questions of why now? What's been going on for the last 5 years? Now, unless you have something where somebody came forward or something else broke and they got some evidence that they didn't have, you're going to say, were they pressing all along here? Why now? We both know this is going to be heavily politicized, right? Because it's on the eve of J6. Is it tied to J6, et cetera? The thing that I find interesting is that there's reporting out there over the last couple of weeks, and it was rumored online, so a lot of us didn't give it too much credit because it wasn't corroborated yet, but that they had identified this person through the gate. That is the way the person walked. That technology's come a long way along with the AI overlay, and that kind of a thing, maybe it's not enough to say I got probable cause, but it's a pointer.
Safely and successfully. We know that they're working together. This morning's operation was carried out safely and successfully. We know that there are so many issues when you're issuing search warrants. Dangerous things can happen.
Can you guys hear it
was
on
carried out
YouTube?
safely and securely, thanks to all of the people standing around me. They have worked tirelessly on this. Today's arrest happened because the Trump administration has made this case a priority. The total lack of movement on this case in our nation's capital undermined the public trust of our enforcement agencies. This cold case languished for 4 years until Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino came to the FBI. The FBI, along with U.S. Attorney Pirro and all of our prosecutors, have worked tirelessly for months, sifting through evidence that had been sitting at the FBI with the Biden administration for 4 long years. Let me be clear, there was no new tip, there was no new witness, just good, diligent police work and prosecutorial work, working as a team along with ATF, Capitol Police, Metropolitan Police Department, and of course, the FBI. We are working every day to restore the public's trust. We hope that today is a significant step towards that progress. We'll share more information when we can and when it unfolds. I cannot stress enough how hard Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino have worked for months to make our nation's capital safer and to make our country safer. I'd like to introduce now Director Patel.
Folks, I'm on TikTok as well. I'm just instructing them. I'm dropping the link in the comments.
When you attack American citizens, when you attack our institutions of legislation, When you attack our nation's capital, you attack the very being of our way of life. And this FBI and this Department of Justice stand here to tell you that we will always refute it and combat it. We will provide the safest country the nation has ever seen under President Trump's leadership here. And that's what we did here today with great resolve on a case of massive public importance, as it should be. An individual who is now alleged to have placed multiple explosive devices to blow up multiple people and multiple officials, innocent civilians, is now arrested thanks to the brave men and women of the FBI and the interagency. I want to take a moment to thank the Metropolitan Police Department, the United States Capitol Police, our brave prosecutors, the Department of Justice, and our leader, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro, whose relentless work on this case made this possible. As the Attorney General said, we did not discover any new information. What we did, an investigation spearheaded by the Deputy Director and the ADIC of our Washington field office, brought in a new team of investigators and experts, re-examined every piece of evidence, sifted through all the data, something that the prior administration refused and failed to do. As a result of that, we generated numerous investigative leads, executed multiple legal process with our U.S. attorney partners, and came to this conclusion today. And that is why we were able to safely secure this individual into custody. Remember, we are dealing with an individual who is alleged to have made bombs. We cannot do this sort of takedown in haste because it endangers the lives of law enforcement. And this FBI will never allow the lives of law enforcement and our prosecutors to be put in jeopardy. This execution was flawless in terms of teamwork, resilience, and just a good old-fashioned way of police getting the job done. When you let good cops be cops, this is what happens. I'm eternally grateful to the team behind me, to the leadership at the FBI who made this possible. But I do want to highlight, when I introduced the deputy, he made this case and so many others, including Summer Heat, his priority to come in here and solve it for the American people. And today, I'm proud to stand here before you and say, we solved it. He will have his day in court. The American public and the world will learn even more information through the legal process, as we have committed under this Attorney General. We are the most transparent law enforcement operation in U.S. history, but we are also going to make sure accountability is delivered to its fullest extent. And that happens in the courts of law with our U.S. attorneys and our prosecutors. So we will divulge information when it is prudent and constitutionally permissible, while upholding the safeguards of this case to make sure that the people that this individual intended to victimize get the accountability they deserve, and most importantly, to deliver on President Trump's promise to secure our nation's capital and the rest of the cities in this country, to make sure that Americans are allowed to go out free and securely in their neighborhoods, and that people around the world are allowed to visit our nation's capital. And they now have that trust, thanks to the leadership of the FBI, the Washington field office. And I'm honored now to introduce to you Deputy Director Bongino, who spearheaded this investigation.
Thank you all for being here for this critical investigation we've been working on for a very long time. We deeply appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words, Attorney General and Director. I appreciate it. Folks, this is what it's like when you work for a president who tells you to go get the bad guys and stop focusing on other extraneous things not related to law enforcement. This is what happens. We had a great team. I know it's said a lot in this business. It was a team effort. It becomes cliche, but cliches are useful for a reason because they matter. And this was a team effort. The director and the attorney general emphasized that it was not a new public tip this came from. This was our internal work at the FBI. And I want to just really express my sincere gratitude to this attorney general and this president for allowing us the latitude. I spoke with Ms. Bondi very early when we, maybe day 2, and I said, we're going to get this guy. And she said, yes, you are. And we did. I want to also thank, he's not here, but Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who we deal with often as well, who could not have been more supportive. Whatever process we need, Judge Janine, Todd, and Attorney General Bondi, they were there. All you had to do, they were a phone call away. And their team was amazing. We actually never had to make that phone call because they were always responsive. Thank you, Judge, as well. You were amazing. Folks, you're not going to walk into our capital city, put down 2 explosive devices, and walk off in the sunset. Not going to happen. We were going to track this person to the end of the earth. There was no way he was getting away. Well, we didn't have to track him to the end of the earth. It wound up in Woodbridge, Virginia. I want to thank the team. They were amazing. They never let this go. Again, Attorney General Bondi, for your incredible support. Director Patel, Judge, I know they're giving me a lot of unnecessary credit, but make no mistake, they were intimately involved in this and were there for all of those supportive mechanisms. And I deeply appreciate it. The man whose team did the work is the Assistant Director in charge of our Washington field office, Darren Cox. Darren's got some comments, and Darren has some more details on the case he can provide. So thank you all for coming. We appreciate it.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Darren Cox. I'm the Assistant Director in charge of the Washington field office. Today's arrest of the alleged DC pipe bomber is a momentous day for the American public, for the FBI, for our Joint Terrorism Task Force, or the JTTF, and our partners, the U.S. Capitol Police, Metropolitan Police Department, and ATF. We've also had a large number of other federal, state, and local departments that have worked on this investigation. And last but not least, the U.S. Attorney's Office. We all worked hand in hand to solve this investigation. This has been a long week in D.C. After the terrorist attack last week, the grit and determination of the FBI and our law enforcement partners is an example to the American public of what cooperation, partnership, and selfless service can accomplish. The amount of effort the FBI and our partners devoted to identifying the pipe bomber cannot be overstated. It is the resolve and determination of our investigators that ultimately led to the identification and the arrest of this suspect. We all know pipe bombs are dangerous, not because of the potential loss of life, damage to property, or injury that they can cause, but also because they are tools that terrorize our community. Fortunately, these bombs did not explode, although they certainly could have. But make no mistake, the alleged pipe bomber did terrorize our community. Today's actions underscore the long memory and the long reach of the FBI and our partners. I know some people had given up on finding the perpetrator, but not the FBI and not our partners. We do not forget, we do not give up, and we do not relent. Though it had been nearly 5 years, our team continued to churn through massive amounts of data and tips that we used to identify this suspect. I want to thank Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino for their leadership and for providing us the resources and the personnel to reevaluate all of the data that we had. We dove into more than 3 million lines of data to come up with this suspect. Director Patel, Deputy Director Bongino, thank you for your support. Thank you for your passion. And thank you for your investment in this investigation. From me, on behalf of the investigators, the Washington field office, and all of our partners, thank you. I'd also like to thank Judge Pirro. Judge, your team and you are absolutely amazing. You're the type of prosecutors and U.S. attorney that all of the investigators across the country want to work with. They're hard-nosed and they're aggressive. And thank you for that. I'd also like to thank the American public for providing tips and leads, not just on this case, but every day on cases across the country that are being solved by law enforcement. And finally, I want to commend all of the members of the Washington field office, and most specifically, the investigative team. Their diligence and persistence led to this arrest today, and they are absolutely, totally dedicated not only to this case, but every case they work. So thank you, Washington field office. Last, I will say our work is not done. The FBI will continue to pursue every lead and use every resource that we have to ensure that the DC pipe bomber is brought to justice. Thank you.
You keep hearing the words partnership and team, and that's what we are. And we could not do this without our U.S. Attorney, Jeanine Pirro. Jeanine, from day one, has worked tirelessly for our country and for our nation's capital. It's my honor to introduce my friend, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro.
Thank you very much, Attorney General. And you have been listening to a lot of thank yous and a lot of gratitude. The reason that we're thanking each other to the extent that we are today is because we have seen in this case an incredible collaboration around the clock, in the middle of the night. It doesn't matter. We call each other, we make contact, they need a warrant, they need something, someone wants legal advice. These are the men and women who never give it up. You hear about government employees, but I don't know if you really realize what it is that they do. They are incredible, and this case is big. 4 years, 10 months, and 28 days ago, an individual placed a bomb in the vicinity of both the RNC and the DNC. And for that amount of time, that individual evaded accountability. Today, as a result of the cumulative efforts of the men and women in the FBI and the police department and the Department of Justice, we are finally able to make an arrest of an individual by the name of Brian Cole. As the Attorney General has indicated, he is arrested for transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce, as well as the attempted malicious destruction by means of explosive materials. You know, folks, this case involved millions of pieces of data. And it is a huge win because it was like finding a needle in a haystack. So much of this evidence was very specific, but a lot of it was also very general. For example, there were 233,000 black end caps of the type that were used in this case. I want you to think about the fact that the FBI had to go through the sale of every one of them to try to find commonality with an individual, along with the purchase of the pipe itself, the cap ends, the wires, the steel, and the 9-volt batteries. Every one of those had to be mined and remined to the point where we were able to then connect. And make no mistake, it was this administration, it was this president who made the decision that we were going to use all of our efforts to get it done, and get it done they did. Finally, let me say this. Today begins the formal process of accountability, where this defendant will begin his journey through the criminal justice system. And I pledge to you that the United States Attorney's Office will take this case across the finish line. Again, thank you to the incredible work of the FBI, to the Attorney General, and to our local partners as well.
100
This is a job
Turd
that I think
Burger
is well done.
100% agreed. You know what I mean?
Thank you. President Trump's directive to all of us was to not only make America safe again, but DC, and to make it safe and beautiful. We could not have done that without our partnership with Mayor Bowser and Chief Smith. It is my honor to introduce Metropolitan Police Department Chief Smith.
Good afternoon, and thank you, everyone. I am Chief Pamela Smith, Chief of Police of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you, Attorney General Bondi, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, and FBI Director Patel for having me here today. For nearly 5 years, the agencies standing here today have worked together under the leadership of the FBI to locate our suspect who is responsible for the 2 pipe bombs that were placed around our city. MPD members assigned to the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force have supported this case from the beginning. That supports include looking, reviewing, and going through countless, probably thousands of hours of CCTV footage from around the DNC and RNC headquarters, and they followed up on hundreds and thousands of leads from members of our communities. What I will say today is that Washingtonians can rest easier today knowing that the suspect responsible for this act is now in custody. This morning's arrest is yet another reminder that committing any act with the intention of harming the residents and visitors of the District of Columbia will result in your arrest. The men and women of the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, the ATF, the U.S. Capitol Police, and certainly the prosecutors at our U.S. Attorney's Office will go to the furthest length. I heard somebody say to the end of the earth, but thank God we didn't have to go to the end of the earth today, that we were able to bring this subject into custody. I want to commend the men and women of the FBI and the members of the Metropolitan Police Department and all of the agencies who are standing behind me today on a job well done. I will turn it over now to Attorney General Bondi.
We're going to take some questions. Just remember, as I said in the beginning, this is ongoing. It's very active. The search warrants are still being executed. Many charges potentially to come. So just keep that in mind when asking your questions.
Jake, Fox News. So you said it had been nearly 5 years. We all know that. And that you said there have been no new evidence. So can you say anything about the evidence that actually did lead to this arrest? And then secondarily, you're talking about additional charges possibly. Can you say what those you might be considering? Or
We're watching a press conference.
New charges, of course. Yeah.
Pipe bomber arrested.
But what I will say is this is why this was so incredibly important. More than any other case, this is in our nation's capital where this happened. And now, thanks to the FBI, we know that this defendant was living just miles away from here in Virginia. So as to the evidence in the case, I'm going to let Director Patel take that, but it's still very active and very ongoing.
Thank you, General. And as I stated earlier, and as the General has already reiterated, our job is to provide full accountability in the court of law with Judge Pirro's team. And in order to do that, we have to preserve the chain of custody and evidentiary value. What I will say generally is that when you go through 3 million lines of information, y'all can think about the amount of cell phone data that has to be ingested and triangulated and dumped and received. You also have to think of just sheer human ingenuity. We brought in a team of experts who are the best at what they do in their specific fields to reevaluate that evidence, to dive back in, and to not come back with a no for an answer until they had found the suspect. And when you develop evidence, you get a search warrant. And when you get a search warrant, you get an address. And when you get an address, you hit the house. And that's what we did.
Sadie, Wall Street Journal.
Hi there. So what can you tell us about this person's motivations and whether they were driven by politics or for any other reason why?
Right now it's ongoing. Again, we just executed the search warrant early this morning. It's ongoing, but America's safer, DC's safer because he's in custody.
Mary Margaret, Daily Wire.
Thank you so much. So any theory on why Kamala Harris has never mentioned coming within 20 feet of being assassinated, and any news on why her Secret Service team took so long to find this bomb at the DNC?
No, but what I will tell you is that evidence has been sitting there collecting dust. This wasn't a new tip. It wasn't some new evidence. It was the hard work of President Trump's administration, Deputy Director Bongino and Director Patel. I watched them from day one come in here and say, we are going to solve this crime. And they did, working hand in hand with U.S. Attorney Pirro and all of our great attorneys.
Pierre, ABC.
General Bondi, Director Patel, or Deputy Director Bongino, can you describe, was there a particular moment where the evidence is coming in and it's starting to look like progress is being made? What was the moment that you knew that you were on the road to solving the case?
Dan, you want to take that?
Sure. I was smiling at you because I certainly remember the moment. Darren remembers it too. He said, "Are you sitting down?" Called me on the phone. I said, "Oh boy, why? Is this bad news?" And he said, "I think we got him." What exactly that tip was, we're going to have to pass on that for right now while we're still, obviously we're in the prologue of a long book. This is just the beginning. This is not the end of the investigation, as you all well know, having reported on these for a long time. There's interviews to be conducted. The search warrant processing scene is not even done. So we're at the early stages. So that's the only reason I hesitate to tell you what the exact tip was. But yes, that was absolutely the moment. And it was due to the diligent and incredible work of a team in the Washington field office that came in and just scoured through this over and over and over and over again.
In general, was it forensic? Was it a phone call? Was it something about a vehicle?
I'd rather, we'll just leave it generally forensic evidence. Yeah, it's fair enough to say. Excuse me?
How long ago that was?
I'd rather not say because of the ongoing interview process, and I don't want to. Yeah.
I just want to add something to tell you how thorough this team was. That moment that was kind of like the aha moment, that wasn't the end. This team continued to work and work and work to get every bit of evidence that we could get. We didn't stop at that moment. And that's a testament to the fact that the team wanted every possible piece of evidence that they could gather.
One more?
One more, Kelly O'Donnell and Lisa.
Thank you so much. Have you recovered the notable sneakers? Have you done surveillance of this suspect from that aha moment to when you exercised the search warrants today? And obviously this happened on January 5th into January 6th. How should the public look at this case separate from all of the cases related to what transpired on January 6th and the president's subsequent pardons?
I'm going to let Director Patel take the evidence part. We have to be careful again. You've asked very good investigative questions, but this is ongoing, very active. But America should feel safer today. We say a pipe bomb. These are bombs. These were live, active bombs that were placed in Washington, D.C. Director.
Thank you. This shows you how much detail you and the American public have paid attention to this case. Of course, we analyzed everything that you're seeing on this poster board and information that you will see through the formal charging process and court process. But we want to let that evidence speak for itself because, again, we do not want to disrupt the accountability that we owe the American public. Yes, you heard about the cell phone tower data. Yes, you heard about, of course, we surveil individuals who we think we're going to blow up American citizens. But how and when we do it and why we do it is not something we're ever going to reveal unless the Department of Justice deems it fit at trial. So we appreciate your attention to detail and your hardcore investigative work. But you can just imagine some of those same skills are being utilized by this FBI, this Department of Justice, our partners, the ATF, and everybody across the board. And this is an interagency win for the American people.
Radar before.
Thank you all. And one more thing, this is the best birthday present I think Deputy Director Bongino could ask for today. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Thank you.
All right, there you go, folks. That was the press conference. Quick heads up. Everyone's on TikTok. There's a lot of nerd troopers on TikTok right now. Click on that link, see if it works. Check that link I just dropped. See if it works. Everyone's on TikTok right now. There you go. Say hi on TikTok, Kara. And hit the like. We're at 12,000. Everybody's heading over to TikTok, the TikTok feed. I'm going to be closing this feed and doing TikTok. Staying live on the TikTok feed. Let me see if there's any other news. Is the TikTok link working, folks? Let me know in the comments. I just dropped it in the YouTube chat. Some goofy news out there. I'm probably going to end up going for a walk, and I'm going to be going live on TikTok. Project Metal's in the house. Thanks for the gift. Angela, everybody, thanks for the gift. Keep hitting the hearts, folks. We get 20,000 hearts. All right, YouTubers. YouTube, you're watching. What's up? Hopefully you enjoyed this video. We're going to be going to TikTok right now and staying live on TikTok for a few more minutes, getting your Q&A session in there. So I'm dropping the link in the comments area. This is the TikTok right here. Nerd Report. 5 gifted membership. Holy shit. 5 gifted memberships. Pup Gruber 20. Thank you so much. Folks on TikTok, Pup Gruber 20 has gifted 5 more gifted memberships. If you want to support the channel, you could do so right now. You could do memberships, PayPal, whatever, super chats, super sticker. Also, when you see a video and you like the video on YouTube, there is a gifted gift area if you want to, like, a super thanks, right? You could do that. But main thing is keep watching. Now, thank you for the Merry Christmas. Hearts for you. My another early Christmas gift I would like is for you all to head to TikTok right now. I'm dropping the link in the comments. There it is. Rose, thank you. Thanks for the gift badge. All right, everyone on YouTube, click on that link. We're going to TikTok Live. Nerd Report. Talk to you later. Nerd out.